certificate.
Okay.
If I donated money to a guy that was losing weight,
Mm-hmm.
I would not want him to buy electronics with it.
Okay, but what if he bought electronics with it? One
I understand what
electronic.
you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Hear me out,
Bitter,
Wings.
like,
Wings is going to spend the money on equipment and things that have to do with his body change.
right. I mean,
Wings, let me do this. Let's say you liked a guy, right? You liked a guy, and you wanted him to turn his life around. He uploaded a video about how he had hit rock bottom, and you were like, man, and then he says, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to reinvent me until I become the me that I aspire to be. And you donated money towards this cause. He starts getting fit. He starts working out. He starts eating right. He sends himself to school so he can learn to be a plumber or an electrician or an accountant. I don't care. Would you be like, whoa, what the fuck is with this education thing?
Because when I donate money, I consider that money gone. I mean, if I say, oh, here's $100, use it with the best of your knowledge, I consider money gone. But that's me. I also know there's a flip side to everything, and like the Indiegogo.
Well, this is interesting because you all seem like it's okay to be a little bit more loose with what we do with the money.
The Indiegogo went bigger than we
I was
hoped, because we thought it was going to take us like all month to get 2,500. We thought people would, trickle in donations and so forth, and like it blew up. And when it blew up, it got a lot of bad press too. Like I think somebody said that we had like on the Indiegogo like a no-go list or something like that. Somebody talked about where
I heard about that. Yeah. The people who don't know the whole story were saying like, hey, look at this fundraiser. This fundraiser is not what Indiegogo is, what I declare Indiegogo should be about. Indiegogo should be about entrepreneurs making new widgets, not an entrepreneur reinventing himself.
And I think part of the problem was that they didn't know that Wings earns his living from the videos that we're making from this. So it really is a video project as much as anything else. It's a weight loss video project. That's literally what the Indiegogo is about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it unreasonable to say that this money that you donated isn't just for things that help Wings in the physical aspect. This money, I don't think it's unreasonable to make the argument you donated this money, and while you don't really have any say as to where it goes to after you donate it, as long as we're not like being shysters and just we're all going to the Bahamas, but this is going to help you, but just not in the way that a lot of people probably misinterpreted the whole thing about. This isn't just a physical thing for you. This is a whole thing for you.
Let me play devil's advocate again.
Okay.
One, PlayStation 4 can only help me in a business sense.
Mm-hmm.
Only help me in a business sense. Because somebody can put the dots together, say, gaming could have been part of my problem for gaining all the weight to begin with, which they would be right. So why purchasing a device that put me on the wrong course with money designed to help me on the right course?
Maybe it could be an incentive for you. You
I
hit all your benchmarks, your goals.
I'm also looking at this
Wings
way.
makes a really valid point. I think. Like I thought that was pretty well thought through. But what if you spun it into something else? What if you made some dance-on videos? What if you made some I don't know, whatever cross-country skiing videos, Connect-based stuff?
What if you ran a mile with it in your hands?
What it all comes down to is this. If it came to the decision that I could get the PlayStation 4, but I'd lose like 2 months of personal trainer time, I wouldn't want to do that.
Okay.
I feel like those 2 months of personal trainer time are more valuable than a PlayStation 4 to me in my overall life.
Okay.
I agree.
But I would also say, in counter to your counter, that if somebody's making that argument, then they could just as easily make the argument that YouTube is what is adding to you gaining weight, and what in essence, in effect, kept you from succeeding in your earlier weight loss efforts. YouTube and all the things that went with that. So then at that point they can make the argument that you shouldn't do YouTube anymore. And if you're not going to listen to the people that make that argument, then I think it's just as reasonable to not listen to the people that say gaming is a result or a factor in your weight gain and weight stagnation.
I don't know. End of the day, I'm the person that has to live with the decision.
Here's what I want to throw in. I'm sorry, Wings. I think you had more to say, but while I don't line up with your decision not to do it, what's perfectly clear to me is that anyone who donated to it made a good call. You are not taking this lightly. You are not blowing it. You are not just like, splitting hookers with Kyle like I do when I'm down there.
Yeah.
You're taking this investment in you really seriously, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. I've been like, especially when it was like, oh, we got 5,000, we got 6,000, we've got 7, we've got 8, and it was like, what are we gonna do with all this money? What can we do with all this money? Well, I don't want anybody to think we're embezzling this money, and like I don't want them to think this is like a big Ponzi scheme or anything. What can we do with this money? And that's been on my mind since it's happened.
Yeah, we've been very critical, much more critical than you. Like we're talking about, like, can I get like high top shoes with this money? Like, even though I might use them in other venues.
I said no to the high top shoes, but in retrospect, that was dumb. Let's get you some fucking shoes. I feel bad now because these guys are like, maybe you could just buy yourself a jacuzzi at home. That'd make you happy, wouldn't it?
No, but
It's like, the reason the high top shoes is like I feel like a high top would be better for me to work out in because of ankle support.
Yeah, I'm
Actually, I
totally
don't think
sorry
that's a
for
thing.
saying no to that.
I mean, I think a lot of basketball players aren't wearing high top shoes anymore because they actually do more to destabilize your ankle and cause more ankle rolls and stuff than
true.
previously thought.
That's true. They've proven that it's not really necessary to wear high top shoes to play basketball anymore. So a lot of the shoes you're seeing
What's the
now.
purpose of like work boots then? Like work boots have that metal tarsal frame that goes up your ankle.
It's probably to protect your leg from shit that might be flying on the ground. I don't know.
Or they might not just be on the latest tech. I mean, basketball players. I didn't know like the NBA players had shifted away, but they were on high top shoes for 70 years, and you'd think they would figure it out faster than the rest of the world.
I just because like for a while there, I even complained to Kyle about it. Like, my right ankle's hurting, and a lot of it's from like taking missteps out there on the walk because I'm walking in the country. I'm not walking on like a concrete path.
Yeah, and that's when I hit him with a stun gun and get him back on pace.
It might help though. It might just be for basketball specific moves.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
That the high top's not necessary. It might help. I mean, it might support you in whatever you're doing. I'm not saying don't get them.
So here's what I want to talk about that we